A trail cam set in the deep woods of a remote region had captured something so mysterious that no one could have ever imagined. As the footage rolled, a figure cloaked in shadow slowly emerged from the darkness, its identity unknown. Who or what was this creature? As it moved closer to the camera, the tension was palpable. All that could be heard was the sound of a distant owl, its haunting call echoing through the night. Something was not right here, and the mysterious figure seemed to be a source of danger. No one knew what lay ahead, but one thing was certain: whatever was out there was not to be taken lightly. In the next few minutes, we'll watch top trail cam captures that no one was supposed to see. There is something in the hotel. It was a dark and foggy night, and the manager of the hotel was making his nightly rounds. He had been working in the hotel for years and was used to conducting his inspection alone. The manager made his way through the silent hallways and up to the top floor of the hotel. As he entered each room, he was careful to check for any signs of disturbance or tampering. All seemed to be in order until he opened the door to the final room. As he stepped inside, the manager noticed a strange chill in the air. He cautiously moved forward, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of danger. Suddenly, he heard a loud creaking noise coming from the corner of the room. He slowly walked towards the source of the sound, his heart pounding in his chest. As he rounded the corner, he saw a ghost-like figure standing in the corner, its eyes glowing eerily in the darkness. The manager froze in horror, unable to move. The ghost slowly glided towards him, its eyes never leaving his. He wanted to scream, but he couldn't make a sound. Just as the ghost was about to touch him, the manager heard a loud banging noise and the ghost disappeared in an instant. The manager quickly ran out of the room and down the stairs, trembling in fear. He was relieved to be back in the safety of the hotel lobby, but he would never forget the terror he felt that night. A girl who faced something eerie. The girl sat alone in the hall, the darkness engulfing her in an eerie stillness. Suddenly she heard a sound, a slight creaking noise that seemed to come from the walls. She alerted, her heart racing, her eyes darting around the room for the source of the sound. Suddenly a chair in the corner of the hall moved, seemingly of its own volition. The girl screamed and jumped away, her mind filled with fear. As she tried to run, the other chairs and tables in the room began to move too, slowly inching their way towards the door. The girl screamed again as she realized she was trapped, her fear quickly turning to panic. As she watched in horror, the chairs and tables began to pick up speed, moving faster and faster toward the door. She tried to dodge them, but it was no use. They kept coming and coming, and soon she was hit by one of the chairs, her body recoiling in pain. Finally, the girl became unconscious, and the horror of what she had just experienced was etched into her memory. She would never forget the feeling of the chairs and tables moving towards her, of being so close to death. Chaos in the corporate workplace. The night was still, the office was empty and devoid of life. No one was around to witness the eerie events that were about to unfold. Suddenly, the security cameras picked up some strange activity. The chairs were being moved around, the computer screens were blinking, drawers were being opened and papers were being thrown about. Doors were being knocked, and there was a strange invisible presence in the air. The security guard rushed to the control room and watched the monitors, his heart racing with fear. The guard was so scared he couldn't move. He watched as the figure moved around the office, its movements becoming more and more frenzied. Then, without warning, it disappeared. The guard was left shaking, unable to comprehend what he had just seen. He had no doubt that some kind of paranormal presence had been in the office that night. He just hoped he would never have to experience it again. Something spooky in the mart. It was a typical day. An old man was doing his weekly shopping at the mart, bagging and weighing his items, when suddenly the boxes started falling on the ground. He looked around nervously, but nobody else seemed to be around. The boxes seemed to be coming down from nowhere, and he began to worry that something was wrong. He started to back away slowly, but the boxes kept coming. He started to run away, but the boxes kept coming even faster. He was running as fast as he could, but the boxes were coming down like rain, and soon he was completely surrounded by them. The old man was terrified. He tried to scream for help, but the boxes were blocking his path and he couldn't find his way out. He collapsed onto the ground, trembling with fear, and the boxes kept coming and coming. Suddenly, he heard a voice and looked up to see a figure standing in the shadows. The figure was tall and menacing, and the old man could feel its cold eyes burning into him. The figure pointed at him and said in a deep, raspy voice, "You should have stayed at home." The old man knew then that he was not alone in the mart, and that something evil was watching him. He stumbled back in fear, and the figure and the boxes vanished as suddenly as they had appeared. The old man ran out of the mart, never to return. A rare spirit bear. The presence of a black bear with white fur, often known as a spirit bear, has been verified by authorities in the state of Michigan. The area in question is located in the western portions of the Upper Peninsula. This particular animal is quite uncommon. It is the very first time that a species of animal that is highly uncommon has ever been spotted in the state. According to MLive, it was captured in the trail camera of a local resident at the beginning of September. It is believed that the spirit bear of Michigan has a blonde coat with cinnamon or crimson streaks on the back of its head and down its neck. The spirit bear also has a weight of approximately 100 pounds. According to the North American Bear Center, a charitable organization, the majority of spirit bears, which are also known as Kermode bears, reside on Princess Royal and Gribble Islands, which are located off the coast of British Columbia. On these islands, the gene pool is smaller, and spirit bears are isolated from other black bears. Because of this, there is an increased chance that white-furred cubs may be born. The sighting of a white and black bear outside of Canada took place for only the 7th occasion when a spirit bear was discovered in Michigan. According to Lynn Rogers, who works at the Wildlife Research Institute in Minnesota, who spoke with MLive, the animal that was spotted in Michigan had genes that make it 1 in a million. So, as a conclusion, he stated, "There are a few genes in this region. It's a gene that can work in either direction. Because there are fewer copies of these genes in this population, the likelihood of getting a double recessive combination is low." A mountain lion. On the evening of February 4, it's possible that the screams of a woman prevented a mountain lion from attacking the woman's small puppy. The footage was captured by a camera that was set at the woman's security door, and it was published by the company known as Fox 31 Denver. In the video, a woman who has not been identified can be seen and heard shrieking in panic as a mountain lion chases after her 25-pound dog in the backyard of her home in Boulder, Colorado. The home is located in the Rocky Mountains. As soon as the door was opened, the dog began to howl and run about the yard as soon as it was given the opportunity to relieve itself outside. The video surveillance captures the moment the lion walks into the yard and instantly begins to pursue the dog. The homeowner hurried out of the house as soon as she heard the commotion and immediately began to yell at the large cat while at the same time attempting to lure it away from her dog. Eventually, she was successful in doing both of these things. She did this as she was attempting to convince it to leave her dog alone so that she could pet him. The lady is exerting a lot of effort in order to seize her dog and bring it inside, but while she's doing this, her cat has dashed off in an opposite way. Since the middle of January, Colorado Parks and Wildlife has received 3 different reports of mountain lions attacking dogs. These attacks occurred in separate situations. The 3 occurrences were all located in the same general region. All of these assaults have taken place in the general vicinity of one another. Unfortunately, 2 of the dogs did not make it through the ordeal alive. Fresno Nightcrawler. The tale of the Fresno Nightcrawler is one that has spread throughout the entire world. It just took a pixelated video of what appears to be a pair of pants wandering across the lawn for it to gain widespread attention and go viral. The cryptid, which is defined as an animal that is supposed to exist in the wild but has not been verified to do so, has gained such a strong following on the internet that it has entered the ranks of other legendary creatures such as Bigfoot, the Mothman, and the Loch Ness Monster. The Nightcrawler has managed to capture the attention of online pop culture despite the fact that it is not as well known as the other characters. The Fresno Nightcrawler is something that has piqued the imagination of people who are fascinated by the inexplicable and the strange, as well as artists, writers, and craftspeople. They have also created stickers, plush dolls, animations, keychains, and other items with the monster's image on them. These stories contribute to the urban mythology that has grown around the creature. Even though it took more than a decade for the Fresno Nightcrawler to become well known in the area where the narrative began, the residents have finally come around to accepting the primary character of the story. In 2007, a Fresno man by the name of Jose brought security footage of his front lawn to Univision TV, which was subsequently brought to the attention of paranormal investigator Victor Camacho. This is where the narrative of the Fresno Nightcrawler begins. Jose was frightened and eager for an explanation of what was taking place. In another video from the same year, Yosemite Lakes Park is being seen traversed by 2 white folks with extremely long legs. People started talking more about the cryptid as a result of these 2 videos, which led to additional YouTube creators talking about and showing the internet age mythology. There have been reports of more sightings, but in recent years, the Fresno Nightcrawler has started appearing more frequently in artwork and merchandising. And that brings us to the end of the video. Feel free to let us know what you think about this video. And if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.